Today live, you won't believe Leonor's grand arrival for the royal wedding. Madrid glows with golden light. Crowds line the streets. Flags wave. Cameras flash. It feels like any royal celebration, but suddenly, something shifts. A car door opens, and silence falls. Because this isn't just another royal appearance. This is Princess Leonor's grand arrival, and nothing could have prepared Spain, or the world, for what she does next. Everyone expected grace, elegance, royal perfection, but what they witnessed went beyond that, something deeply human, deeply emotional, something no one saw coming. For months, the world has waited for this day, the day the future Queen of Spain would arrive for the most anticipated royal wedding in decades. But as Leonor stepped out, she wasn't just representing a crown. She was representing an era, a legacy, a love story written between two royal families, and perhaps, a personal story too long hidden. The moment she appeared, every eye was locked on her. Her gown, subtle yet commanding, shimmered in the morning light, a statement of youth meeting destiny. The silence that followed wasn't from awe alone. It was something else, something that felt like history unfolding. Because this wasn't just a royal entrance. It was a message. You could see it in her expression, that delicate balance between duty and feeling, between royal decorum and the quiet heart of a young woman stepping into the eyes of the world. And then it happened, a gesture so simple, yet so unforgettable, it sent shockwaves through every royal watcher and left even the cameras stunned. But before we reveal that moment, let's rewind. For weeks, speculation filled tabloids. Would Leonor attend alone? Would her rumored connection to the Danish royals be acknowledged? And, more importantly, would the palace allow her to show any sign of personal emotion during such a globally televised event? Behind the palace walls, preparations were intense. Queen Letitia's hand was everywhere, from the color palette of Leonor's attire to the timing of her entrance. It wasn't just fashion, it was strategy, because this appearance carried political weight. Spain's monarchy has been redefining its image through Leonor, young, modern, poised, and every step she takes is carefully orchestrated. But what no one expected was the emotional crack in that royal facade. As Leonor stepped onto the red carpet, her eyes scanned the crowd, not with detached regality, but with warmth. Real warmth. And then, as if drawn by instinct, she turned toward one direction, where a familiar figure stood. Cameras zoomed in. The crowd gasped. It was him. The mysterious royal connection, the one the media whispered about, the one whose name had been kept under wraps to protect both nations' images. Standing quietly, in formal attire, eyes locked on hers. Their gaze held for just a moment, but that moment spoke louder than any royal decree. And what happened next? A smile. Soft. Genuine. Brief, but impossible to misinterpret. The crowd erupted. Not in noise, but in stunned silence, that kind of silence that hangs in the air when everyone realizes they're witnessing something historic. Because that smile was more than affection. It was confirmation. A silent truth shared between two young royals caught between tradition and the pull of something real. As she continued her walk toward the cathedral doors, Leonor's posture never wavered. Every step precise, regal, measured. Yet her aura had shifted, no longer just Spain's crown princess, but a woman stepping into her own power. Inside the cathedral, where gold chandeliers glowed and choirs echoed through ancient walls, whispers followed her every move. Royals from across Europe exchanged glances, some with surprise, others with admiration. Queen Letizia, ever composed, leaned slightly toward King Felipe, the faintest nod passing between them, perhaps an acknowledgement that their daughter had just crossed a threshold no protocol could define. Because this wedding, though not hers, had become a stage for Leonor's quiet revelation. The cameras captured it all, the delicate placement of her hands during the ceremony, the subtle glance toward the Danish delegation, and the rare, unguarded laughter that escaped during the recessional. Each moment layered another thread into the tapestry of her evolving image, poised yet passionate, royal yet relatable. But here's where the story deepens. Hours before the event, insiders report, Leonor had written a short note, folded carefully, sealed with her initials, and handed privately to a trusted aide. That note, sources claim, was delivered discreetly to someone within the Danish party, sparking a wave of speculation that her rumored connection had roots deeper than anyone realized. Was it a message of friendship? Or something more personal, perhaps a goodbye before her life fully merges with royal duty? No one knows for certain. But one thing is clear, her actions carried meaning far beyond fashion or formality. As the ceremony concluded and the couple exited to cheers and bells, Leonor's presence lingered like an echo, the embodiment of youth standing on the edge of destiny. When she emerged from the cathedral, the cameras once again caught that radiant yet thoughtful look in her eyes. It was as though she understood what the world was saying, and yet, she had already made peace with it. Spain, watching from home, felt a collective pride. This wasn't the shy young princess once shielded from the spotlight. This was a leader in the making, a woman commanding her narrative without words, through grace and authenticity. And as the carriage rolled away, sunlight catching the edge of her gown, that earlier gesture, that quiet smile, became the defining image of the day. It trended within minutes. Headlines exploded. Commentators called it the smile that shook Spain. But to those who looked closer, it wasn't just a royal headline. It was a moment of humanity, the intersection of love, legacy, and personal truth in a life where every move is measured. Because behind every crown lies a heart. And today, for one brief, shining moment, the world saw Princess Leonor's. And as the car doors closed and the music faded into the distance, one question remained: what comes next? What does this moment mean for her, for Spain, and for the royal family's future? That, perhaps, is the story yet to unfold. But one thing is certain, today wasn't just a royal arrival. It was a declaration, silent, powerful, unforgettable. The dawn of a new chapter. A new kind of royalty. And the moment the world finally saw Princess Leonor, not just as Spain's future queen, but as herself.